everybody. Um, my 7th grade team, lesson 2 for the Harlem Renaissance is a bit much. And so I thought it'd be easier to make a video to show you. So, in the first part of the lesson, initially EL wants us to open with Election Day and then zoom back out to the Harlem Renaissance and shuffle along, and zoom back in. But there's a lot of context that the students need. So there are 2 versions of this lesson. One has the election day like EL wants it, and the other one just jumps into an engagement activity and then directly into the article. So that we don't have to look at election day, come back out, look at shuffle along, and then come back in and look at election day. So in this version, we start out with an engagement activity. This is to preload vocabulary. Part B. Once they get to part C, before the Save the Last Word activity, they're going to need to take a look at the Harlem Renaissance packet. And I renamed it just with the title of the article because the EL has the Harlem Renaissance packet as like all of the biographies and excerpts you'll need for the entitled unit in one. And I kind of segmented them by lesson. So now this resource reads Shuffle Along, the Harlem Renaissance Musical Sensation. This scaffolded version just has some words bolded and spaces for gist in it. So there's a scaffolded version and a non-scaffolded version. So once they use their annotation code to read this article, and it's just 1 page front and back, and develop the central idea, then they can do the Save the Last Word for Me protocol, and the protocol is on part C. And this is just to promote discussions from the Hallmarks conversation intervisitation that we had. Okay, so then for part D, they're going to do a class reading of Shuffle Along. So the Shuffle Along, it's like 4 pages long, and they're going to need this for 3 lessons. It's 4 pages front and back, and it's a play. So ideally, students should be acting this out in front of the class. Because this is a resource that they're going to use over and over again, I was thinking of printing it on colored paper. I know that there was some in school. I don't know how much exactly there is. But because there's so many pieces of paper for this lesson, I wanted to put it on colored paper. So for their first reading of part D, they look at it as the 4-page packet, and I think they're only reading Act 1. When they take a closer look at the structure of the song, it's very similar to the structure of a poem. So I'm introducing this anchor chart and resource of slam poetry, and they're going to need this resource for lessons 2 through 10. So I'm giving it to them as a resource, like I said. And on the back, I'm also going to include words for looking at the elements of music, which they'll be using for lessons 2 through 4. And also figurative language at the bottom, which they'll also need for lessons 2 through 10. And because, again, they're going to be using this resource over and over again, I was thinking about printing it on colored paper, double-sided, so they know exactly what color it is. So that's for part D. Additionally, when they're looking at the affect, they'll be looking at mood and tone. And so there's another resource for mood versus tone in the shared drive. They have positive and negative mood and tone words and a definition of mood and tone. And again, because they'll be using this resource for quite a few lessons, I printed it on colored paper. So this lesson I'm using as a model to teach them how to write a response about the mood and the tone, and comparing and contrasting the printed text to the audio, because they'll be doing the same type of writing throughout the lesson. So I hope you found this helpful. Again, this is just what I'm thinking to organize all of these moving parts for lesson 2, which I'm sure is going to take about 4 periods. All right, have a good one.